I don't even know if I can do this video, but I'm going to just get a cup of coffee. The coffee's good this morning. Ariel Castro, the Cleveland kidnap suspect, may face the death penalty. As Ohio prosecutors said, they may seek the death penalty against Ariel Castro, the Cleveland man charged today with kidnapping and rape of 3 women he allegedly brutalized for a decade while allegedly inducing abortions in at least one of the captives. Capital punishment must be reserved for those crimes that are truly the worst examples of human conduct, according to the prosecutors there. Timothy McGinty said today, in indicating that Castro would likely face additional charges of aggravated murder related to the pregnancies. The death penalty is applicable under Ohio law for the most depraved criminals who commit aggravated murder during the course of kidnapping, said McGinty. Castro allegedly induced abortions in one of his victims, Michelle Knight, age 32, at least 5 separate occasions by punching her in the stomach and through starvation. Matter of fact, I've got a report here of the 7 horrifying details. If you don't want to listen, you don't have to. I will not go too deep in those details, but you do need to understand the severity of the demons, spirits at work in the land. Castro was allegedly starved and punched Michelle Knight, to induce abortions. Among the most disturbing information, the police report says, never-ending bag of horror. Castro impregnated Michelle Knight 5 times during her 11 years of captivity, she told police. He allegedly starved her for at least 2 weeks while repeatedly punching her in the stomach until she miscarried all 5 times. Second thing he did, Knight says he forced her to deliver Barry's child. He impregnated Amanda Berry. Police are performing a paternity test to determine if Castro is indeed the father of Amanda Berry's 6-year-old daughter, Jocelyn, and she's believed to be. But Knight told the police that she was forced to act as a midwife during Jocelyn's birth in a plastic kiddie pool. Michelle stated that Ariel told her that if the baby died, he would kill her. The police report says the baby almost did die. She stopped breathing for a few minutes. Knight said she put her mouth on the infants and breathed for her to keep them both alive. Castro never let any of his captives see a doctor during all the years of captivity, but he apparently took Jocelyn out of the house on numerous occasions, claiming that she was a granddaughter or that she was the daughter of his girlfriend. Number 3, the women were chained up in the basement when they were first kidnapped. Police are still trying to piece together how Castro kept the women locked up and hidden for 11 years. But one thing is clear, according to the police report. All 3 women victims stated that Ariel Castro would chain them up in the basement, but eventually he let them free from the chains and let them live upstairs on the 2nd floor. Then they were kept in separate rooms, according to Fox 8 News out of Cleveland. When Castro had guests over, he would bring the women upstairs to the attic, tie them up, tape their mouths. He would also then play music extremely loud. Number 4, the women only left the house twice. Only twice were they allowed to leave that house in 10, 11 years, and that was just to walk from the house to the garage fully disguised. Only twice. Number 5, Amanda Berry escaped Castro's because he neglected to lock the front door. Amanda Berry and her daughter were able to escape, setting in motion a rescue of DeJesus and Knight because Castro left the house and forgot to lock the big inside door, Berry told police. But even then, police said, she thought maybe he was testing her. Castro would sometimes test the women pretty frequently, especially at first. The law enforcement told CNN he would pretend to leave and then return suddenly. If there was any indications any of the women had moved, they would be disciplined, threatened, or hanging over their heads. But Barry took a chance. She stuck her hand through the door and screamed for help. Folks, thank God that Mr. Ramsey heard the screams and reacted. Oh, dear Lord, have mercy. Number 6, Castro gave the women cake to celebrate their abduction days. If being repeatedly raped and forced miscarriages and cruelties and starvations wasn't enough, the women were forced to celebrate the days that they were abducted. He would feed them a nice meal with cake, and they would celebrate the days that they were abducted. He let them watch TV only occasionally, but when he did, it was during coverage of their parents holding vigils for them, so they could sit and watch the people crying. Are you serious? What cruelty? What type of cruelty are we talking here, folks? What kind of devil? What kind of demons? What is wrong with the human race that people will actually do such devious, cruel things to people? You know what? This really wasn't about. This wasn't about sex at all here. What we're dealing with here is a man that just wanted to torture people and cruelty. I mean, this is insanity. Yet this guy functioned outside society and nobody, he seemed normal. He's a guy that hung out and had barbecues in the backyard of his neighbors. This guy was a school bus driver. What? I mean, I just don't know if I can deal with this. But you want to know what? This kind of stuff's going on all over the world, and it's worse. And the beheadings and the murders and the cruelty and the awful. No wonder Jesus is coming soon. You got to know it soon. You got to know it soon. Are you serious? Are you saved? You got to know it soon. And number 7, Castro has confessed to the crimes. He also, in an unused suicide note, he said, I know I'm a sexual predator, I need help. And he wrote himself his own suicide note, but he never carried it out because he's a coward. He's not going to carry out suicide. This guy's a coward. I don't know. I really don't know what the deal will be there with that. I just leave that in the hands of God. It doesn't matter if they seek the death penalty. It doesn't matter if they want to give him 150 years in prison. It doesn't matter what they do with him. His real judgment will come after death. He doesn't even have a clue what judgment is yet. He doesn't even know what captivity is. He thinks that he held them people cruelty and captive. He doesn't even want to know what the captivity is coming to him in a place called the lake of fire. He don't even want to know. He doesn't even want to know. He doesn't even want to know. It's sad. It's just, it's really sad, folks. I don't know what else to say. God will deal with this. Let's just let God deal with it. God will deal with it. All I can do is pray for these young ladies and the families and the community. I even pray for Mr. Castro. I pray for his soul.